everyone, and welcome back to InnovEU. So we have this new episode with new chronicles. So we are talking with Alessio Lupi, and in this conversation we'll have a lot of useful information for you, since Alessio is a EU projects evaluator with a long experience in EU projects. We also have a conversation with Maria Angeles from Seville, and we'll have a very interesting conversation about the tourism industry and teaching. And we close with the analysis of an open call town twinning. I hope you enjoy the episode, and see you back for next week. Bye. Welcome everyone to InnovEU. We have this new chronicle with Alessio Lupi. I hope I'm right, I pronounced it correctly. You're talking to us from Italy. Where in Italy?
I'm based actually in Marche region. It's a region in the center of Italy on the Adriatic Sea, close to Ancona. This is the main city of our region.
Okay, so you are an evaluator of EU projects. So you are that kind of that guy that we all want to stone to death. Tell us a little bit about how you got there, how your professional history got you there.
Yeah, so exactly. Today, I'm an evaluator for the European Commission. In particular, I support the European Commission in the evaluation of proposals for the Erasmus Plus program. Action capacity building is one of the centralized action of the Erasmus Plus. How did I arrive there? Well, it's a long history. I'll try to make it short, as short as possible for the people who are listening. I started being a youth worker, basically, so working with young people, coordinating an organization in my region, working with youngsters. So in this role, I started writing projects like application, in particular for the Erasmus Plus program, which is the program of the European Commission in youth policy field. Within my experience, I had the chance to have an internship in Brussels, funded by the Leonardo action. Today is not called anymore Leonardo, but it's still an action of the Erasmus program. The possibility to give the professionals the chance to go abroad and make a working experience abroad. My working experience was in Brussels, was very successful to me because after the internship, I actually stayed in Brussels and worked there for 7 years. And during this experience in Brussels, I got some further skills in writing project and also implementing project, in particular in the Erasmus Plus program. And so the European Commission selected me among the pool of evaluators. I'm collaborating with them since 5 years now. So that's the history.
Well, in those 2 minutes, you included some precious informations. I would like to talk a little bit about them. First, you mentioned that, and I believe a lot of people don't know this. You mentioned that professionals can get that kind of internships in working abroad, and that nowadays happens within the Erasmus Plus program, right?
There are actually several initiatives. Okay. The Erasmus programs allows people working with young people in formal and non-formal education context. That means like in education institutions, so teacher, professors in universities, as well as people working with youngsters in their free time. This means like youth worker, those are called. And the Erasmus fund short or long period mobility for such professionals to spend part of their time in colleagues working in the same field abroad, so to make an experience in another country, basically. This is the Erasmus initiative, but there is also another initiative program funded by the European Commission, which is called Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs, that allow professionals in any field to live such an experience abroad, or also people not working in youth policy field, so architects, engineers, they can spend up to, if I'm not wrong, 6 months abroad, being hosted by a colleague in another country. I think it's a very interesting experience on a personal and professional sides for people. I strongly suggest that. For me, it was really a turning point in my professional career.
So that's an experience you recommend to others.
Okay. Absolutely. It's key for people that want to work at an international level. I think to live an experience abroad gives you like personal motivation and also professional skills, including language skills that are absolutely key factor, to work in such an international context.
Okay, that's great to tell people they can do that, because I'm not sure most of the population is really aware. But then in your presentation, you included another interesting information, how to become an evaluator of EU, in this case, Erasmus Plus projects. So basically you have to be in the pool. How do you get to be a part of that pool?
There is actually an application, like a website of the European Commission, in which you can basically log in. Is related with the ECAS account.
It's the funding and tenders portal, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there is a funding and tender, and there is a label, under label, which is written, become an expert, become an EU expert. So then you follow that, you click on the button and you don't become an expert just by clicking on the button, but of course you need to follow an application procedure. You submit your curriculum, you specify your experiences there. Of course, I mean, you need to be experienced in your field. The experience needs to be consistent, because the pool of evaluator, only take on board people that have a long-lasting experience in the field. And then the European Commission select experts every year for the several thematic call that they have. This is the procedure for the Erasmus. Then there are other thematic programs that have similar procedures embedded. Just last thing to mention in relation to this opportunity, I'm talking about being an evaluator at centralized level, so for the European Commission, but still the Erasmus Plus program, as you might know, have several national components. So some calls of the Erasmus are evaluated at national level. So also the national agency of the Erasmus Plus have open call for evaluator at national level. In this sense, those national calls are more accessible for people because, of course, the selection is at national level and not at European level. So you might try both, basically. I suggest try both.
I think it's an important information you're leaving there. The idea that you have to become an expert on the platform. You have to click on expert. No, there's nothing saying evaluator, and I'm not sure people know about that. So thank you for stressing that information. Now let me get back to the stoning the evaluators part, my favorite one, the part of stoning the evaluators. We often get mad about evaluators because these guys, they know nothing about projects and they say a lot of things, but it's not your case. You have implemented several projects, right? So you're not in that field.
Well, I hope I'm enough, experienced and skilled to play the role of evaluator. I'm actually working in the youth policies field since 20 years now. I've written, I don't know how many projects I managed, many of them. So, I guess I'm sufficiently experienced in the field of youth policy to play this. I think the experience is very much needed because the evaluator need to follow evaluation criteria. But of course, in order to spot the strengths and weaknesses of projects, you really need to know the field. Otherwise, your evaluation, your approach would not be sufficiently critical, according to me, to effectively evaluate, the efficacy of one proposal, the quality of one proposal.
So tell us a little bit about the projects you've worked on. Is there a favorite one? I always make this question.
Yeah, definitely.
I would ask, is there one you like the best? One
well,
that
yeah,
left memories?
Projects are like babies, if you spend time to ideate, formulate, and then implement project, you spend a lot of time of your life around the project. Since I do this work passionately, with passion in youth policies in particular, every project I promoted is kind of something I'm fond about. I'm really I cared about that. So any of them are my favorites. I can mention one of them, which is called Youth Meter, which particularly satisfied me because it was approved by the European Commission in a call that was called forward-looking cooperation. So only 4 projects were approved at the European level. So it was a very important project also on a budget side. And we actually had the chance to visit 15 countries of the European Union, organizing a study group of people in each of the countries we visited. During the study groups, we asked young people to identify indicators that, according to them, were meaningful to measure youth well-being. This is quite a critical, topic in the European Union, because the European Commission is working on a set of indicators to allow the 27 countries of the European Union to compare the well-being of youngsters in their national and regional context. But what youth well-being means, it's a complex issue because it's very different. Youth well-being is different in Portugal compared to compared to Finland, compared to Cyprus, because the youth condition is very different in those countries. So we try to harmonize the system of indicators, and we came out with a proposal that was transmitted to the European Commission that partly embed our proposal in their policies in youth field. So this was a huge, reason of satisfaction for our team, not just for myself, of course.
So that's your favorite one in the past. Now, what about the future? What do you want to be doing 2-3 years from now? What kind of projects?
Okay, well, since 4 years now, I came back in Italy, in my hometown actually, from Brussels, for family reasons, I would say. So I'm working now for my region, for my regional authority, in project also outside the youth policies field. This is something that satisfies me a lot. So the fact to have the chance to have the opportunity to work for my people, I would say, or for my territory. This is a huge added value to me. At present, I'm living in the countryside, in a small town in the countryside, and my dream for the future would be to have the chance to work more and more to foster the local development. So to give the youngsters and people living in rural areas, so less developed areas, people who have less opportunity, to give them the chance to experience all the programs, all the opportunities that the European Union offered them, with particular reference to youngsters that in Italy are living nowadays kind of a dramatic condition on unemployment side, since we have almost 1/3 of young Italians who are unemployed. So I would really like to work for them in order to foster their resilience, their attachment in their own territory. So not to force to migrate abroad, as I had to do in my 20 years ago, 15 years ago. So that would be my target.
Feelings about that. I have mixed feelings about that, but next time we meet, we can discuss it, because I have the feeling that we're wasting money because people will migrate to other countries and to cities and leave the countryside. Whatever we do, people will still migrate. But that's kind of a good discussion.
But at least, if I may, sure. I mean, we might provide them with a choice, at least. At the moment, I feel that in my region, they have very little choice. I mean, the choice of staying here is not really on the table. So
I see a point. It's not that different in my own country. So and mostly around Europe, that is an issue nowadays. But I see why you want to work in that area, because that's quite a relevant one, an important one. I hope we'll meet in the way. And I want to thank you for this very rich interview, rich in content. Thank you for your time. And well, let's stay in touch.
Thank you for the invitation. It was my pleasure.
I always make this question. Is there a final message? Something you want to close with? Yeah.
Well, I'm not going for a regional message. I would say just, go after your dreams, whoever you are, and believe in your, in your professional and personal development. I mean, there are a lot of opportunities around that are just waiting for you to spot them. So keep looking and believe in your dreams. That would be my message.
I think that's a great way to close. Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thanks to you. It was a pleasure. Bye.
So welcome back, everyone. Welcome to InnovEU. I want to thank Maria Angeles for taking the time to be with us today. Maria, would you mind telling us where you're located?
In Seville, actually, well, near Seville, in a small town near Seville, Tomares, but it is Seville. It's Seville city
So
in
you're
Spain.
my neighbor. You're in Spain. You're my neighbor.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Tell me, I know that you've been working in EU projects for some time. Sometimes you work with the Chamber of Commerce of Seville. But when was your first experience? I always like to start with the beginning.
The
Your
first one
EU
was,
project.
as you may know, we are. I work really for the university, for EUSA. We belongs to the University of Seville. It's a private university, but also we are part of Chamber of Commerce. So yeah, it's like Chamber of Commerce. They have like three legs, as we can say. It's the technological studies, university, and also masters. And then when they bought us, they bought the company, EUSA. The first time I met Pablo Morales, who is the person who is introducing me to all this project, was for a very good one. Was before COVID. I think that it was like 6-7 years ago. And it was MedMobile. It was a really, really good one because it was with Palestine. We went to Gaza, we went to Jordan, we went to many places. It was also this kind of, it was an Interreg, it was an Erasmus. I think that it was an Interreg, yes. What this kind of student mobility also. So they came first to ask me if I could send a student. And I took the opportunity. I said, yes, but I have to go too because I want to go. Yeah, so they just said, okay, if you can give like a lesson or during the mobility, I said, yes, of course, why not? So I have always been in the tourism industry. I have I had my own travel agency. That I was the manager of a hotel, and meanwhile I was also a teacher of tourism. What I am now, really, I've been teaching for 35 years, more or less. So
you have a long background in the tourism industry.
Yeah, always a tour guide. I have done mostly near everything in the tourism industry. But I love traveling. So if I see the opportunity, and I love traveling, I love meeting people. So it was the opportunity to start with the projects was really
that must
wonderful.
Have been, I'm just speculating, that must have been an Interreg, yes. I don't know what was the name, Next Med. I think presently it's called Next Med, but it was the predecessor, because Interreg has a special a program for the cooperation with the neighboring Mediterranean countries. Because that was outside of the European Union. All the projects you've worked on, are they all outside of European Union?
No. Now I think that I am related or I am working in like 7, and there are European. Some of them are from inside the European Union. Some others are between. For example, now I'm in Cultura Bridge. And we are there are 3 partners from European Union and 3 other partners from Africa. So it's very interesting either because yes, it's kind of for me, because it has everything. It has also the teaching, because normally we have to prepare the courses, so or the project for the courses. So it's the opportunity, as I said before, to travel around and also to teach what you like to teach. So it's really, really interesting. So I have a few ones. Now I have Cultura Bridge, Apprend Line, Start, that you know, DOER. Most of them are related with tourism and with teaching. That was I am giving to the project. That's why I'm working in the project. Because
let me interrupt you. That special
yes.
case, you joined a project that was already approved and running. After that, have you been working on also on building applications and on the whole process, or
no.
Like
I am just they use me as a teacher, other as the business person from the tourism industry. So always related with tourism, with nowadays quite a few of them are related with digitalization and new tools. Yeah, but normally it's always the word tourism. Sometimes tourism and teaching, on just tourism and management, or because normally my real background is in marketing. I studied tourism at the same university where I'm teaching, but I am specialized in the marketing things and yeah, everything new, all new tools, and I love them. I like it. Yes.
So let me go that way. Since you are an expert on tourism and you have that marketing background, what's the future of tourism? Are people going to keep traveling and going on large numbers
Yeah, of
to
course.
flooding cities, or are people going
It's
to
a
start
problem.
to make virtual tours and stay at home?
No. Now after COVID, everybody wants to go out. I mean, Seville is full. Lisbon is full. I have been reading an article this morning talking about the problems in cities like Barcelona, like Madrid, like Lisbon, like Venice. All those. In Barcelona, for example, they have made already a very strict, a very close program or legal thing that is not, they don't allow more tourist houses or Airbnb, this kind of because it's the problem is that we have a very a lot of low cost flights, so it's easy to travel. Many people speak English already. There are a huge offer of hotels and apartments and everything, so it's very easy and it's cheap. And it's everybody. I mean, when I was a student, I didn't want to for traveling so frequently. Now I talk with my student and they said, no, with this weekend we are going to Lisbon. This weekend we are going to France. Excuse me, how can you? I couldn't at this moment. I didn't have the money, but it was much more expensive.
Is that a challenge or let me put it this, in a different way? Of course, it's a challenge. But how is the tourism industry going to cope with this challenge? What do you see that is the way out?
I don't know because it's very difficult. In one way, we should control it, but you cannot put doors in the cities. I mean, and we also it's a matter of all the internet things, the Instagram. I always said to people, why do you said you don't want tourists if you put your photos in Instagram saying, look what such a nice place or such a nice restaurant. This is a problem. But I don't think I don't know how can we cope with it. I suppose that they must be hard with those kind of apartment and hotel and seeing that not a hotel normally is apartment that they don't have the licensing because there are these pirates or how we want to call them, and this is a problem also because the customer is not satisfied very many times.
Sure.
Yeah, but it's very difficult. It's very difficult because I think that also after COVID, everybody wants to go out.
Yeah, sure. And on the other hand, you really don't want to stop people from traveling, stop Europeans, especially young people from traveling. On the contrary, that's what makes the difference between young Europeans and let's say young Russians, for instance. And that's what makes the difference for the values you want to grow in Europe. So you have to find a way.
Yeah. I see that the only way is perhaps this kind of control. And also, I don't know, they try to do something here also with domestic flight to reduce the domestic flights.
Short flights, yeah.
Yeah. But if they come by train, so it's a stupid. And it's also, on the contrary, it's a matter of economy, a matter of money. Tourism improve the incoming of a city normally. Also, the thing is that on the other hand, the prices goes up for the normal for the people living in the city. So this is always there will be always a problem.
Yeah,
and
I feel that in Lisbon.
Yeah,
prices are very high.
Very high. And there are a lot of, now in Seville, well, in Spain, we have a lot of argument from the people living in the cities against tourism, but this...
Yeah, but on the other hand, you said tourism has an impact on the country's economies that is quite visible in the Portuguese economy, close to 20%, and also
more
in
or less in
Greece,
Spain,
so it's an important industry. So this industry has these challenges. The digital transition, the green transition are quite important for this industry. What role can the EU projects have in this process, these transitions, in helping the companies?
Oh, yeah, we can, through the project as the one we are working in, the start, you can make the enterprise, you can make them to be aware of what is happening, of how
That's
can
a good
they
start.
Yes,
make
how
them
can
aware.
how can they improve their I was in Ljubljana in a meeting for a project, and I was in a hotel, and I was really, really impressed because it was everything was recycled. They did very, very, very good. But for example, now when we were in Naples, I told the manager of the apartment, why do you change my towels every day? I don't do it at home. You don't need it. I want it. Okay, you do it, but this thing is stupid. This is something stupid. It's like not the towels, not the linen, because you don't do it at home. You don't need it. So we must through the project, what we can do is to teach enterprises or to help them how to get more green and more sustainable. That is very important. It's a way that was something that's also related with the flight I told you before, to reduce the
carbon footprint.
That's it. Yes.
Because if people go by train, it will be different. You know that's not just domestic flights for a small country like us. Even a flight to the neighboring capital, Lisboa, Madrid, is a short flight, so it could be a train travel.
Yes.
But okay, going back to the tourism industry. On the other hand, these new technologies, they have a great potential to help the companies working in the tourism industry provide much better experiences to the tourist, because nowadays when we were kids, we are still, but we've been kids for a long time. When we started being kids, we went to some place and we didn't have that much information. I mean, first time I was in Paris, I needed to find out where is the Louvre, some things I had heard about. Nowadays, any kid, the new kids who travel to a different city, they can get a lot of information of what they can do and what
Yes.
they can, and they can really experience
Yes,
the
it's
local
something.
culture.
Yeah, it's something as simple, for example, as to do a Google on my maps. My maps I use it with my student at the university, and you can prepare your journey. I want to stay here and here and here. What are you going to see? So before you go to any place, you have the information about the culture, the information about the things to see, the information about the events that are going to happen. So it's very important. New technologies is quite a big thing. So when I start with my travel agency, it was in the Neanderthal, 1987, and I remember that at this moment we have these vouchers and these folders with the information about the things. And when internet came, it was like, my goodness, what is this? This is incredible. Yeah. I mean, it's like artificial intelligence now. It's incredible. If you use it properly, it's incredible. I mean, what can you get? So suddenly we pass from this everything printed. I don't print anything now, for example. With my student, we do the exams online. You don't need it. So it's the tools, the digital tools are also very, very, very good to help us to be sustainable also. Yeah, in a hotel, sending them, for example, before when I was the manager of the hotel, when you arrive to a hotel, you have to sign the paper with all your information. Now this is not. Now this is an app. The hotel has an app.
It's an app.
And
yep.
Yeah, and you open your door with the app and everything. So it's very useful.
That's we're talking about the European tourism industry, but then you go elsewhere in the world, and you don't see that level of concern with the green and digital transitions.
No, I was in Senegal 2 weeks ago before I went to Naples. Also in Naples, I saw that they don't use much digital, a lot of digital tools and so on. And in Senegal, they are starting. I mean, they don't. You don't see kids with phones, so that's they are in the poor part of the world, so they don't get access to. And also, it's for example, they don't have. Some of them do, some of them, those who go to university and so on, but the majority, they don't have the education to use it. It's something, for example, the streets were very, very, very dirty, like in Naples also. It's a matter of the people don't clean. It's just, and I remember that, I don't know, 10 years ago in Spain, we could have the same problem. People throw the things in the street. So it's a matter of education always also. And also, if you give them the tools, they use it. The problem is that those who receive the tool, there are not so many of
that's
not the majority,
the main
but
thing.
Yeah, that's the problem.
If you talk about digital transition, it cannot be only a few. You cannot have a digital divide that segregates a few. You really have to make the digital tools available to everyone.
Yeah, and they don't have computers very frequently. As I told you, I was in Senegal and I asked them, how can I help you? And they asked me for online teaching, for events and marketing. Say, okay. Also, they asked me if I could send some computer, some uniforms to do the events and things. So, I mean, they are very poor. So we have, in Europe, we are used to the digital tools too much sometimes, but it's very difficult with those third world countries.
Sure. So there's a lot to be done. Is that what you look for in the future? What kind of projects you would like to be running in the future?
I love all projects, as I said before, but I like those that may give me the opportunity of improving or making things for others that they don't have the possibilities that we have. So I think that this is a way of helping, teaching or telling them how to do things, giving them tools and so on. So it's a very good way of helping. So I think I would like to keep working on projects for my whole life.
Okay, I'm sure there will be projects to work on because there's a lot to be done. Let me just ask if there's a final message you want to close the interview with.
Well, I really feel, as I said, I really feel very happy to have the opportunity from Chamber of Commerce to be in this project. And yes, I want to keep going, and also you also learn from them. I mean, from the project, because sometimes you don't have the last meeting we have with the start. You remember some tools or some apps I didn't knew. So it's something. It's a way to learn also. So, and it's of course it's a kind of open your mind to other cultures, to others ideas. That's all.
Okay, thank you very much for your time, Maria Angeles, and
thank you, Fernando.
We'll keep in touch.
Ah, the charm of Europe. Imagine a dynamic montage of diverse European towns, bustling town squares, and lively community events. Are you ready to bring your community closer to Europe? Introducing the Serve 2024 Citizens Town TD Town Twinning Call. Eligible applicants include legal entities such as municipalities and non-profit organizations from EU member states and countries associated with the SERVE program. Your project must involve municipalities from at least 2 eligible countries, with a minimum of 50 participants, including 25 international participants. What can you do? Organize workshops, seminars, cultural events, and more. Your project should be innovative, gender-sensitive, and focused on community engagement. The total budget available is €4 million, with project grants ranging from €8,455 to €50,745. Key dates to remember. Call opens on April 9th, 2024, and the deadline for submission is September 19th, 2024 at 1700 CET. Evaluation of proposals will take place from September 2024 to February 2025, with results announced in March 2025. Successful projects will begin in June 2025. Ready to apply? Visit the EU Funding and Tenders portal for all the details, forms and guidance you need to submit your proposal. Don't miss this chance to make a difference in your community and strengthen the bonds across Europe. For more details, visit the EU Funding and Tenders portal. Together, let's build a stronger, more connected Europe.
InnovEU, the EU Project Chronicles, is a weekly video podcast. Please subscribe to the Polixdocs newsletter to receive every podcast episode. And if you like receiving it, please press like in whatever platform you are watching or listening. Also, please share InnovEU and Polixdocs with anyone you feel will enjoy it. Credits: author and host Fernando C. Gaspar, music Hugo Gaspar, Lisbon, Portugal, 2024. Reach us by email or DM.